Let's bring in Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell from California, a member of the House Judiciary and Homeland Security Committees. Congressman, it's obviously pretty unusual to see a vice president kind of celebrate an active FBI investigation as it's ongoing where no one has been charged with anything yet. First, I just want to get your reaction to everything we've kind of seen so far this morning.
Well, John Bolton worked directly with Donald Trump for a long time. And in doing so, he assessed Trump as, quote, erratic and foolish. And later, Bolton would call him naive and dangerous. And so how does Trump respond to this? Well, this morning, he has the FBI raid Bolton's home and office. Donald Trump, the way I see it, and many Americans see it, is trying to turn America into a police state where nobody will be able to speak their mind or, even scarier, think their thoughts. And maybe that's why he's so fond of Putin and Xi, people who he views as tough guys. But it's not the America that anybody asked for. And so my job on the Judiciary Committee, your viewers' jobs as citizens, is to make America free again. And that means we hold them accountable in Congress. We go to the courts. We make sure the press is independent and can critically cover this. And of course, that the town squares are full of peacefully pissed off dissenters.
I mean, you don't hear regularly a ton of criticism from your Republican colleagues against the White House, the president. But do you feel like actions like this are having a chilling effect? Do you hear any concern, even behind closed doors, from your Republican colleagues about actions like this?
Well, behind closed doors, like in line at the Dunkin' Donuts or at the congressional gym, what I often hear is concern. But I hear Republican colleagues say to me that they're afraid for their own safety. They know, as one person said, you don't want to be the tallest poppy in the field. And that doesn't serve us well. And frankly, if that's your concern, you should find another job. But people like Don Bacon of Omaha, who's retiring, and Tom Tillis of North Carolina, a senator who's also retiring, they both know better. They've kind of put their necks out there a little bit, but there's so much more they can do. And even in the House, Christina, there's only a 3-vote majority in the House of Representatives for Republicans. So only a few need to cross over. And I've also learned with Donald Trump, you have to find strength in numbers. If it's just one person, he can pick you off. If it's just one college, he'll pick you off. If it's just one law firm, he'll pick you off. But if you band together, your strength will overwhelm him. And at the end of the day, you have to make Donald Trump react to you, or we will always find ourselves, the most vulnerable in our communities, reacting to him.
Pivoting back a little bit to what's going on today, your colleague, Democratic Congressman Raja Krishnamurthy, questioned the timing of the FBI search on Bolton's home today. I want you to take a listen.
It looks like it's also an attempt to distract from the other big news of the day, which is the first production of the Epstein files that's required by subpoena from the Oversight Committee on which I sit. And they want to change the conversation repeatedly. This is going to happen every day. Because they don't want people talking about the Epstein files or about their mismanagement of the economy.
Do you agree with that? Do you see this raid as an attempt at distraction?
Yes, he's absolutely right. They are overdue. They're past due on producing to Congress the Epstein files that were subpoenaed in a bipartisan way. And Congress is going to be back in session in about 10 days. And we're not going to relent on seeking, to know who was involved in child sex trafficking and to find justice for the victims. But this is also an effort to silence your critics. And I say that as somebody who Kash Patel identified in his own book. He listed out about 100 government enemies who he saw as enemies. He put me and Adam Schiff at the very top. And the goal in doing that is to silence us. And what's important is that we don't stay silent, that we don't let ourselves be intimidated, because it may not be you today, and it may not be your party today, but I promise they will get to you. If you are critical of this administration, they will eventually get to you. So John Bolton is not somebody I'm particularly a fan of. I think he went into the White House knowing how dangerous Donald Trump was. He did it for his own power. I'm not supportive of him, and he probably wouldn't have nice things to say about me, but this is wrong. And I'm going to speak out against what they're doing to John Bolton, because they're doing it to silence an enemy. And we all have to speak out, whether we agree with who they're going after or not, because it's not what we do in America.